Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is TheFormalPickle, and today we're going to go over my top requests for the next farming simulator game, whatever it may end up being called. So today, I've got a list of 20 things. We're going to see how many of them we get through. These are my top requests for the next farming simulator game. Real quick, if you guys have requests that you would like to see in the game, go ahead and comment them down below. I'd love to start a discussion with you and see what it is the community wants put in farming simulator. For those of you who don't know me, hi, my name is Jake, otherwise known as TheFormalPickle. I'm a community ambassador with Giant Software here for farming simulator, as well as a content creator on the farming simulator game. Without further ado, let's get into the very first thing on my list, and that is Seasons Standard in the next farming simulator game. I personally think Seasons is an absolute game changer. It changes so much to the game fundamentally that it becomes a whole new game. And I understand that not everyone enjoys Seasons, so I think it would be best if it was to be implemented standard into farming simulator, that it be implemented as a toggleable option, something you can either turn on or off. Now let's move on to number 2 on the list. We have more detailed repair / damage system. So I want a more detailed repair and damage system. Now, Farming Sim 19 implemented this concept of vehicle repair. However, it's pretty simple. I mean, to be completely honest, it's very, very simple. It's very bland, to be completely honest with you. But I think it would be a huge addition to the game, as mechanical breakdown is a huge hurdle for farmers to have to come over. Moving on to number 3 on my list, we have used equipment market. I would love to see used equipment in the next game standard. Right now, there is actually a mod for 19 finally that allows us to get sort of used equipment. I think that would be a huge addition. A lot of farmers buy equipment used. A lot of farmers buy equipment used, and I think that would be something a lot of people would enjoy. Up next on my list at number 4, and these aren't ranked in any particular order, I should say, is I believe it's Z-axis rotation in landscape. It might not be Z-axis. I never claimed to be smart, but I want the ability to, let's say you have a fence placeable and you're working on fence in your farm and there's a hill. Well, it's kind of annoying right now because if you place that fence at the top part of the hill, then it's going to stick out perfectly, level, right? And it's not going to slope with the hill. I want the ability to kind of rotate it and angle it with the hill so you can actually make fence kind of flow and not be this choppy, weird, ugly, gross, like step stool kind of thing going on. Next on my list, and I'm gonna name one brand specifically, but I'm sure there are tons of brands that we'd like to see added. Of course, we want to see more brands, we want to see more equipment. The one that I really personally want to see is Kubota. Kubota's actually a fairly good brand. They tend to be pretty good tractors. I would love to see some options for Kubota. I think it's a slept-on piece of equipment, and I think I'd like to see more of it. Number 6 is a hard mode that you can toggle on or off. Something where you actually have to eat. You have a health bar. You have to eat. You have to drink. You have to shower. You have to sleep, and so on and so forth. You have to do these things. Otherwise, your guy will fall ill or die or whatever it may be. Maybe he'll fall asleep if you haven't slept enough. If you implemented this, there would actually be a reason for you to own a house. And I just think it would be a little bit more realistic. There's a lot of times where I'm like, oh man, why am I always working in the dark? And is it, well, because I never have to sleep in the game. That's why. So, I don't know. I think huge addition. Let me know what you guys think. Number 7 on the list, I would like to see an improved render distance. I'm so tired of the circle. Y'all know the circle of despair that surrounds your player. You know what I'm talking about? It's really not that big of a circle, and if you're using third person, you can see it plain as day. Can we just push out the render distance a little more? Can we just do something? Number 8 on my list, I want custom pasture fencing. Custom paddock fencing. That would be awesome, and I have no idea how to do it. Think about this. You actually go in and you place down the fence, or better yet, you build the fence. That would be cool. But that's probably asking a little too much. So you place down the fence, and how the order that you place this fence, where you place the gate, all these things, that somehow creates the boundary for the livestock that you put in that pasture or in that paddock or whatever you want to call it. Number 9 on the list, I want to see hand gestures in the game. Now, this is a it's a tiny issue. But for roleplay stuff, for people that like to play really seriously, I think it's something that they would love to see. Number 10 on my list is actually, this one comes from the man, the myth, the legend, King May, who you can find in the description down below. He had this idea, garage item grouping. This is brilliant. So you guys ever buy so much of one thing? Fence. We're going to use fence a lot in this example. So if let's say you buy a lot of fence and it's all over your farm, and then you go to your garage and oh, look at that. You have 286 freaking fence placeables, but they're all spaced out individually. So you have to scroll all the way through them and it lags down your garage and it slows it down and it makes it a pain to find anything else. What if they're the same asset? If they're the same thing, just group them. Have it one image, and then have it say like a little number at the top. It says like, oh, you own 286 of these. Cool, thanks. Done. Number 11 on my list is a base game Midwest map. I want the map for the US to actually be in the Midwest. Look, I understand there's agriculture almost everywhere in the United States, but let's be honest, the main hub of it is the Midwest. That is literally the only thing they're known for. They're literally called flyover states for a reason. The Midwest, please. Number 12, and this is only because this recently came out, and now I think it's cool, and I kind of want the ability to use it base game. Crop dusters. Can we fly stuff base game, please? Can we get crop dusters, since that is a thing that often happens? You often hire out a crop duster. Can we just get that in base game? That would be cool. Of course, that's probably a stretch, but either way, would be cool. Number 13 on my list is an actual PTO type or hydraulic type requirement. Different tractors have different PTO types. There's, you got the 540, the 1000, the big 1000, and then you need to make sure the equipment will accept that PTO type. You don't want to put a 1000 PTO tractor on something that is a 540 implement. It's just not, I mean, you can do it. There are adapters, but it's not recommended. So I would like to see that a little bit more in depth, as well as hydraulic types. For those of you who don't know, there's open loop and closed loop, and potentially there might be one more. I can't remember. But there are different types of hydraulic systems, and different pieces of equipment require these different types. Number 14, improved physics, period. There's not much more to explain about that. Improved physics. Actually improve, like, weight system, just physics. I don't know how else to explain it. Number 15, ground deformation. This would be really cool. Although I understand it could also bring a lot of challenges, but you know what? Farmers getting stuck in the mud is a problem they actually have to deal with. Farmers destroying their field with ruts and stuff is something that they actually have to deal with and be mindful of. So I think ground deformation would be a huge, huge addition. Number 16, improved animal functionality. I would like the animal systems to be improved a little bit. They're a little bit limited. They always get better and better and better. I would love to see the ability to herd cattle using the horses, or I suppose you could use like a UTV as well. Number 17, double/overplanting ability. When you are planting your field and part of your planter goes off into a piece that you've already planted in real life, it doesn't just go, oh, don't mind me, I'm just not going to plant there. It plants there. So I'd like the ability to double and overplant, because it is something that you actually have to be mindful of in real life. I think people would be more strategic in how they plant their fields in the game if this was implemented. Number 18 on my list, more detailed farm management options. I just want more numbers, more finance control, more just kind of management, just more detailed breakdown, more control over these things like, electricity or repairs or wages, whatever it may be. Number 19 on the list, multiplayer land/equipment sell/rent to other players. I want the ability to sell or rent land or equipment to other players in Farming Simulator. That would be awesome. I can't tell you how many times we'll be playing a roleplay series or whatever on multiplayer, and we go to the dealership that someone has set up for themselves, and we try to buy a piece of equipment from them, but then you have to get contractor, then you have access to all of their equipment, which gets annoying as you tab through your farm. If we could just transfer ownership of equipment, that would be amazing, as well as land. And finally on my list, the last one, number 20, improved data sync when playing multiplayer. I have no idea how to do this one. I don't know if it's even possible. So just ignore me if it's not. But there's a reason the game has been nicknamed Synchronizing Data Simulator. But guys, that's it. These are my top 20 wishes, ideas, thoughts, hopes for the next Farming Simulator game. Let me know in the comments down below what you would like to see in the next Farming Simulator game. And maybe or maybe not. You never know. Maybe Giants will see this list, see your guys' comments, and think, oh, that's a good idea. Didn't think of that. So you never know. We could make a difference. Either way, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope this was a fun one for you. And until next time, I'll see you all later.